What I'm about to tell you is the most shocking discovery I've ever found in my years of watching anime. Some anime tropes are pretty cool. If you are a longtime fan of watching anime, then you are probably familiar with some tropes that have been around in a lot of recent mega hits. For example, if an anime mom wears her hair in a certain style, then that means they will probably meet their expiration date either in the first episode or at some early point in a show's life cycle. Another example would be how certain characters scream so loud that they cause a scene, drawing the eyes of passersby in the middle of a sidewalk or the like. I particularly cringe at that specific trope, but it still has entertainment value nonetheless. But instead of talking about certain tropes, we're going to be talking about certain archetypes that a character more or less belongs in. Many anime characters, for the most part, are categorized under the giant massive umbrella of subcategories to which I like to call the Dere tree, where many fans can be familiar with one or two or even three Dere types, but don't know that there's at least a whopping total of at least 30 Dere types. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most popular Dere types in all of anime, the Tsundere. A Tsundere, by definition, is one who depicts a character with an initially harsh personality who gradually reveals a warmer, friendlier side over time. And I have 5 examples of Tsunderes who happen to be not just the greatest examples of such characters, but also some of my personal favorite characters of all time. So if you like this kind of content, please click the subscribe button and like the video so I know that this is something you guys want more of and can help support me going forward. With all that out of the way, let's get into the ranking of the best Tsunderes in anime. The first example on this list does fall under the term tsundere, but I'm also gonna give it a tsundere plus label because it's so on the nose it actually turns funny, and that's Karne Inda from the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. We are only 2 seasons deep, but I'm gonna make a prediction with Karne here. I believe that because she was introduced so early in the show and as the most popular type of Dere in anime, it allows her to have character progression unlike many other characters, and the possible staying power can put her as one of the faces, if not the face, of all characters tsundere. Where many other shows take the tsundere type seriously, Karne just leans into the archetype as a whole. She makes being a tsundere look fun and refreshing to any first-time viewer and breathes life into the show as a whole. Even if Karne will eventually become literally just 1/100th of the plot of the show as a whole, I believe that Karne will be a massive reason as to why people watch this show and become iconic in her own right. The next selection off this impeccable list is one where nostalgia of the show as a whole could boost her status, but I'm going with Makise Kurisu from SteinsGate. Unlike most tsunderes today, Makise Kurisu isn't the average tsundere where she has to resort to violence and baka 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 the main protagonist until my ears start bleeding. She's actually likable in part because she doesn't do that first and foremost. Second, she has more of a rather don't bother me attitude and can have snappy responses when Okabe, the main character, starts to tease her and interact in other ways with her. Not only that, she also cares for her lab mates and feels that they're special to her. And her design is just straight up spectacular. She's unique in the tsundere trope, and it only helps that she contributes greatly to why the anime community constantly rates this show as one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. I don't look at popularity polls, but I can imagine like out of probably 10 polls, either 7 or 8 of them would have Kurisu as the most popular by a big margin. She's that good of a character. You thought men were exempt from this list? Hell no! Because the next example on this list is Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. For a relatively small portion of time, this man could have been considered the final boss of the Dragon Ball franchise. This man had aura unlike any other, especially back in the late 80s, early 90s, depending on if you read the manga first or waited until the anime. And then once Vegeta's interests aligned with the rest of the cast and joined their side and let history take its course, this man turned every battle he fought with or alongside Goku into an outright dick measuring contest. He never says it to his face, but his actions always give the impression that he wants to say, "No, I'm stronger than you," or "It's not like I didn't save the universe too, Baka! Acknowledge me, senpai!" Something along the lines of that. If you look at it from a certain angle, it's honestly kind of cute that way. We all know Bulma is Vegeta's wife in the show, but I wouldn't be too surprised if Vegeta had a little soft spot of his own for Goku. But his evolution from being a planetary menace turning into a tsundere is the reason he belongs on this list. I will not take questions, nor will I be swayed by acknowledging the bath time with Bulma. There is a word that not many people realize could be synonymous with tsundere, and that word is gremlin. And there is a gremlin in the anime world who stands out a cut above the rest, although the height could use a little improvement. This specific gremlin is Taiga Aisaka from Todora. She's ferocious in the early going and really earns her nickname as the Palm Top Tiger. Honestly, that name alone is just so badass. I hope she could get a UFC contract with that name one day. Taiga is the prickly outside but soft inside kind of tsundere. If you give her enough time and get to know more about her, she becomes the cutest little ball of energy that you just want to pinch her cheeks at all times. Just make sure you brace for the inevitable violence afterwards, as that's the tsundere motto. If he makes your face bright, get ready to fight. But it's not just her quirks and personality that make her one of the greatest tsunderes of all time. Her character growth and progression is the main source of her change into an extremely likable and sympathetic person, all the while at the same time not losing her tsundere charms and tendencies. Taiga is exactly who I think of when the word tsundere is uttered, and for good reason. And finally, we have come to the big one. This is what I believe to be the face and the representative of all tsunderes. Who might I be talking about, you might ask? Well, dear viewer, allow me to indulge you in the entire history of the Gundam franchise. It's Asuka. Yes, I truly believe Asuka Langley Shikinami, or Soryu, depending on when you've watched it, is the greatest tsundere in all of anime. She literally made the trope into how we know tsunderes today. It's crazy to think how the landscape of anime would be different if Asuka and Evangelion weren't around when it was created. Her mannerisms and interactions towards Shinji say it all. But what makes Asuka so compelling as a character and as a tsundere is that all of her tsundere quirks are all just a mask because of her backstory. I won't go into spoilers for that because I implore you to go watch this show for yourself. But basically, this is a flawed and damaged character who projects all of her insecurities towards someone she's affectionate to, and it's displayed in the most vulnerable way you can imagine. Asuka is a tale of two appearances. The first one being when we first meet her, and the second being when we actually learn about her. All of it culminates into a story that can be regarded as more memorable than some of the other most memorable parts of the show, and there are a lot of them. Asuka is a force to be reckoned with within the tsundere genre, and from beginning to end operates with a fiery rage that lets her earn her right and presence in the cultural zeitgeist of anime discourse that we participate in today. Thank you for watching this video. If you like content like this, it would mean everything if you could hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another video. I do have plans on making this a series with plenty of other anime archetypes, so every like and comment goes a long way. I also read every comment and respond to a lot of them, so I'd love to have discussions with you guys. I have a Twitch channel that I stream multiple times a week, so if you want to stop by and say hi, or if you want to talk anime on there, go follow me on there. I also have channels which will be down in the description, so go subscribe to all those channels as well. That's gonna be it for me, guys. Stay cool, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.